Right, for a book chat, we're joined by Chinyere Okorocha. Now, her book is titled Heels and Ladders, and she's here to tell us everything about it. She's a distinguished legal practitioner and the author of Heels and Ladder, a book that draws from her personal experiences and professional insights to provide a practical guide for women looking to navigate the complexities of career progression. And she's right here to tell us about the book. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. This is an interesting book that I feel every woman definitely will want to read. And of course, the title, Heels and Ladder, that definitely drew my attention. Why did you decide to name it this?
Okay, so first of all, the heels represent a woman.
Yeah.
Obviously, we wear heels, but it also represents difficulty. So the ladder represents the career, ascent up the career ladder. And the heels, imagine climbing a ladder in heels. You gotta be careful.
Yes.
You may, if you're not careful, you may slip. You know, you have to hold on the banister as you're going up.
Yes.
You know, to make sure you don't fall. You know, so that's where the title came from. It's representative of the struggle women usually have as they try to scale the career ladder.
Well said. And of course, if you look at maybe the past 20, 30 years, a lot of women were not even having careers, as they would say. Most of them were at home, in the kitchen, in the other room sometimes. and then that's what they were known for. But now we've come to a place whereby women can think of something, believe it, and then go ahead to do it. And so with this book, what was the aim? I know that it's talking about the struggles and everything, but what was that aim? What was the experience maybe that you had that made you say, you know what, I want to pen it down?
Okay, thank you. That's a really important question. You see, I've been a practicing lawyer for 34 years, going on 35 years.
Well done.
Thank you. And in that time, I've come against challenges as I tried to scale the career ladder myself. My job, where I work, a law firm called Jackson, Etienne Edu, exposed me to international travel. I have been to over 40 countries in the world. And everywhere I go, I see that women have the same struggles. We struggle with work-life balance. We struggle to be heard. There's always a man that is chosen before us, and so on and so forth. So I started documenting the similarities I was seeing with women internationally and in Nigeria. And I thought, you know, let me pen it down. Let me put down a handbook, because the full title is Heels and Ladders, a career acceleration handbook for female professionals. So it's meant to be a resource, because I truly believe that the glass ceiling is real. But if you do the things I've enumerated in this book, along with the stories, because each chapter starts with a story, you will be able to shatter it and get to any heights you want to in your career.
Okay, definitely, and that's what we want as women. Now, speaking about each chapter starting with a story, the first chapter talks about clarity, and the person here was Sandra, who is a personal assistant. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
Okay, so how can you get to where you're going if you don't know where you're going? So clarity, the chapter says it all starts with clarity. A lot of women are in their careers just going with the tide. They have no career plan. They really don't know, you know, where they're going, any direction. You know, you need the tools. If you know where you're going, then you can prepare and choose the right tools to take on the journey. And so Sandra was a great, you know, intelligent, hardworking woman, but she had no direction. That's the problem. You know, so every day she's doing trainings, getting certifications in this lovely job, you know, but after a while she gets bored. Gets bored of what she's doing, and then she thinks she just needs to add on another certification.
Move on to the next.
But if you have a career plan, I say there's a chapter that talks about how to create a career plan, then you will know that I need to have maybe an MBA in order to scale the next level. Or I need to reach out to XYZ in order to gain knowledge. I need to do training. I need to network more. I need to do a lot of public speaking, whatever it is. you devise a plan and then you work to the plan.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it all starts with clarity. Be clear on where you want to reach, the height you want to attain in your career.
Yeah. I think clarity is super important because, of course, like you said, if you don't know where you're going, how do you even reach there in the first place? But another important thing to talk about, which you also highlighted in your book, which is the next chapter, says knowing your value.
Wow.
So a lot of people do not even know their value.
Yeah.
How do you, deep dive into that place where you're like, you know what, this is what I'm worth, and I'm not going to go anything below that standard? How do you go there?
I think it starts from the stereotypical biases that have held women back for centuries, such that you start second-guessing yourself and you don't recognize that you actually have something to bring to the table. And therefore you own it. You know, I am valuable. I bring something to the table. And not to remain in the place where you think people are doing you a favor.
Yeah.
For acknowledging you, for giving you a position, for promoting you. So that chapter speaks to recognizing your own value. And if you don't place a proper value on yourself, other people are going to put a value on you and you may not like it.
Yeah.
I reference a story. I really don't know who wrote the story because it's anonymous in my book. I usually give credit to whoever.
Yeah.
And it's about this boy who had his father gave him an antique watch, and the antique watch, he told him to go and sell it to the watch
the pawn shop.
Yes, first of all, it wasn't, yes, pawn shop. And they just said they'll give him $50 for it. And then he now told him, take it to another shop. They priced it $100. Then he said, take it to a museum. And he took the watch to the museum, and they said they were ready to give him over $200,000 for the watch.
Imagine.
That someone else had said it would be $50. So that's about knowing the value that you bring. And I'm saying, women, value yourself, put yourself on a pedestal, and don't take anything less.
That's right. Do not take anything less. And of course, there's so many other chapters here. I wish we had so much time to dive into it. But let's just highlight, maybe in 30 seconds, the power of personal branding.
Oh my goodness. So personal brand, according to Jeff Bezos, is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So everyone has a personal brand, but sometimes it may not be the brand you want to project.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying in that book is take control of how you want to be perceived. So your personal brand really is taking your entire experience, your educational background, the job that you have, and you package it in such a way as if you were a company yourself. So just as a company would brand themselves, like TVC is a well-known name. Do you understand? You take yourself, myself as Chinyere Okorocha, and yourself, you know, and brand it, and you market it, and you position it, and you create that. It's what you say, what you do, how you dress. And I'm saying that female professionals need to create a personal brand in such a way that the perception people have of you is actually what you want. And there are tools you can use. I mean, social media is a tool. Creating a personal website, doing thought leadership. First and foremost, choose a niche where you want to play. You know, so there's a whole thing around it, but every female professional should create a good personal brand.
You know what? I'm just sworn in right here. Like, I could hear you speak for hours because I'm just here picking out everything. But I feel like I'm definitely going to have a conversation with you after this, and maybe even come to your trainings, because this is amazing. And I believe that people who are watching at home are obviously getting something from this. Now, one thing, because I would say this is also a me problem, is having to negotiate. You know that you are worth all of this because you said know your value, know your worth, right? And you've positioned your personal branding in a way that people definitely want you. But then having to negotiate for the right amount and for the value that you bring might be an issue.
Absolutely.
What do you think people should take that could help them change, maybe not negotiating the right way?
Okay, so research has shown that when women negotiate on behalf of themselves, they're penalized for it. But men are not. Men are seen as strong, go-getters, and so on and so forth. Women, when they try to negotiate on their own behalf, they are seen as aggressive,
Yes.
overbearing, and so on and so forth. So women don't like to negotiate. That's the truth of the matter. We avoid conflict at every way, which way we can. But some ways to overcome these biases, unconscious biases against us when we negotiate, is to have that group mentality when you want to negotiate. You negotiate for the people around you, maybe the people younger than you, and in doing that, you will obviously be elevated. You have to keep your own evidence of what you're negotiating about. Do your research. Always prepare. Preparation is the foundation of successful negotiation. So have your facts. Keep your success journal, like I like to say. You know, so when you get to the table, you have what to say. You also have to understand that negotiation is give and take. It's not about I must win or the other person must win. So always have the mindset of giving as well as receiving. You know, so if you go through the chapter, you see so many other steps that I've put in place to try and protect us, because we don't like conflict. We don't like hearing no. Would rather just stay with that salary that they're giving us, you know, not negotiate higher when your male counterpart is earning even more. So it's something that we do need to focus on a little bit.
I think that value and the success journal, coming to the table with something, with your evidence, is really important. And that way, it's a win-win situation for both parties. Because how do you negotiate if you're not giving the other person the value? It's almost like you're scamming them, like you're trying to rip them off. But yes, okay, so let's just still talk about networking and having the right connections. This is just 30 seconds. Tell us about that.
Negotiation, networking is very important for scaling the career ladder. I recently had a book launch. You know, I launched the book. You know, we had an event, and the caliber of people in the room was, you know, so heartwarming for me.
Yeah, you talk about, you know, the person who wrote the foreword and all that.
Yes, you know, so I had the foreword written by Bola Adeshola, the chairman of Echo Bank, you know, very prestigious, hardworking woman who has mentored me from afar. Commendations for the book were written by barrister Mrs. Chioma Uzodimma, who is the First Lady of Imo State, and she is a lawyer, you know, so I have interacted with her. Another commendation was written by Professor Luyemsi Bamboshe, SAN.
So this is definitely having the
so
right connection.
So this is the people I have come across in my career, and I kept contact with them. Amaka Chikambono, who has written, a marriage counselor who has written over 8 books.
See, I know that there's so much to unpack with this book. I wish we had enough time, but we have to go now. But I want to say congratulations on the success of the book. It's amazing, and I hope that, you know, you would get more inspiration from this for other things to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll go on a short break right now, but there is still so much more to come on Wake Up Nigeria, so please stay with us. We'll see you after this.